guys, it's Ashley, your scrapping nerd, and I'm back today with a layout for Scraplift Crafternoon. It's where a bunch of my crafty peeps and I get together and we scrap lift an amazing layout from an amazing creator. And this week we are scrap lifting Jessica, and she's from Kids to Scrap. And you saw her layout at the top of the video, and I just loved it. And it has circles, and you know us here at Scraplift Crafternoon, we love our circles. And so I wanted to do kind of a fun layout today, and I had this paper from Paper House, and it's the Wizarding World, and I have a paper bag from the Harry Potter store in New York, and some postcards, and I pulled in my circle dies and distress ink in black soot. And so I wanted to start with, I only have this one paper, which I find interesting that I only bought one. I'm kind of proud of myself. Usually I buy doubles, and doing this layout with one piece of paper is the reason why I always buy at least two. But I used every last inch of this paper. And so I gut out the center because the backside had kind of the, I don't know. It's a Harry Potter symbol, but don't ask me. I don't know. And so I got that out because I'm going to use that for my circles and then to back my photos. But here you can see I'm taking apart the paper bag, and it's really cute. The backside has the newspaper, but since the paper is newspaper, I'm not going to use that side of the paper bag. I just wanted the Harry Potter New York to be on my layout. And I fidgeted with this a lot. So, which shocker, right? I originally thought I was going to just have the paper bag be my background, but where the Harry Potter part fell, I didn't like it. So I pulled in just a black piece of paper and trimmed it so that it fit, so the Paper House paper was matte it. And I'm sorry, I'm having words problems today, but so the layout was matted, but I used the black. And then I still hadn't decided where I was going to put the title, so I decided to start working on my circles and my photos, and I pulled in that part that I got, and so this is the back side, and I'm going to cut 3 circles like Jessica had in her layout. And she actually had them, they looked like they were layered circles, and I had planned to do that, pulled in both sizes of my circle dies, but in the end I only did the one because I didn't want to cover up the paper. The paper. But so you can see here I have this Cuttlebug that I have had for a bazillion years, and I can't seem to find new plates for it, so I always have to put like a piece of paper, like thick cardstock in there to help me press down the die. I really should just get a new one, but it works just fine. But so I got all 3 of those circles cut out, and then here's where I'm going to start working with the title. I don't know that it's a title, just part of the paper bag that I wanted in there. And in Jessica's layout in the bottom left, it looked like she had strips of paper, and so I kind of took a nod from that, and I'm going to take the paper bag and I'm going to cut it into strips. And I wanted to then put the strips together so that you can still see that it said Harry Potter New York, but it was cut in strips. And I went through, I cut all of them, and I get them laid out, and I spent so much time moving these circles around and then getting this Harry Potter New York on here. I probably should have just fussy cut out the words, and maybe it would have been a little easier, but now I had this block that I had to move around of the strips of the title and try to get that in with all of the circles and the 3 photos. And my goodness, guys, I seriously spent forever. In fact, I spent so much time moving things around, my phone died. And so you won't see that I finally took a scrap piece of black paper and glued all of the strips of the wording on to it so I could create a block that I could then move around and get my circles underneath. And so it was interesting. But in the end, I love this layout, like I always say, and I always say that it took me a while and I moved things around 100 times. So that should just be a known that when all of a sudden something is done, it's because it was an hour of video that I cut off that you didn't need to watch me moving it around. But I show you here that I'm like, okay, this is kind of how I want to put it, but I want my circles to be able to go under the Harry Potter part without you seeing the circles. And so then that's when I will put it onto a block of black cardstock. So you'll be able to see that it's on something, but it kind of blends into the background so it doesn't stand out as much, because I really liked the paper print on the paper house paper. But this is what I'm talking about, that I just put it on a block of black paper so I can move it around, and that it still showed that it was cut, and it had the kind of like a stripe pattern to it, and it wasn't just a full-on piece of the paper bag. That's what I was trying to avoid, that it didn't just look like a brown blob. But again, that took me a little while. And so I then took one of the postcards and I fussy cut out the school there on the left, or the castle. I apologize if you are a Harry Potter fan. I'm probably making you cringe. I don't know all the lingo or all of it. I do like the movies. I did read the books. But yeah, that was a while ago. These are pictures of my husband and I when we were in New York. We went into the Harry Potter store, and because we had like a bus tour, and so they gave us free tickets to get 2 glasses of the butterbeer, and you had to go to the store. And so we went to the store, and it had the telephone booth there, and some of the paper, what am I trying to say? The newspaper articles on the walls. And so it was just cute. So I took a picture of my husband and I in there, or I took a picture of him and he took a picture of me. And so that's what I'm scrapbooking. And then of course on the bottom is the picture of the 2 glasses of butterbeer. And then I took the last scraps. Again, this is also what I was saying about how I usually have 2 pieces of paper so that I don't have to worry about it. But I wanted to map my photos with the backside of that paper. And so I just found every bit of scrap that I had, and I Frankensteined it together. And you can kind of see, sorry, the video is a little wonky. I was doing it too far out of focus. So I had to shift the video down, and I will only show you one of them because I was not doing it in frame. And so I Frankensteined the photo mats for all the photos, and then I distressed the edges, and that just kind of helps to hide that it's Frankenstein mat. Plus it's also really thin, so you can't tell. And then I inked my circles, and I don't think I said, but I inked the back layout as well. All the newspaper print paper is inked, and that just helps to kind of get it to stand out. And so I finally figured out how I wanted it. And again, like I said, I like how this turned out. I will pop all of my photos up on foam so that it stands out a little bit, or stands up a little bit, and I just add some dimension. Because, I always pack my layouts with so much stuff that if I add dimension to things, it helps certain things pop up. And not everything is just flat and a hot mess, which I don't mind a hot mess. I love just all of the things putting on my layouts. And so then I was like, well, that bottom left corner is kind of empty. So I pulled in this arrow punch that I had, and I used some of the paper bag, and I punched out 3 of the arrows to go next to the butterbeer photo. And the funny thing is my husband and I hated the butterbeer. Like, we had one sip and we were just like, nope, we just do not like that. And so I went through all of my wordy bits because I needed something negative. And it's funny, I don't have you don't have negative things. Like, I was looking for a thumbs down or something, and then I found I pulled in the thickers in the miscellanea and the heat wave, and I found this word nope, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I will put nope next to the butterbeer, and then I will also pull in my small Pink Fresh Days of Splendor and put don't like underneath of it. So on the arrow here, I thought I was going to put it on the photo, but I moved it over to the arrows, and it just says nope, don't like. And it's just funny. And it's the funny thing that my husband and I were so excited. We were like, everyone talks about how great the Harry Potter butterbeer is. We're going to try it. It's going to be great. No, we did not think so. And so we had to we went over to the little thing and secretly poured it in the little sink so that none of the Harry Potter lovers would see us and revolt that we were dumping out the butterbeer. But either way, finding negative scrapbooking titles is actually kind of hard, which I find funny. But I pulled in some yellow stars that I had from just in my stash when I went looking for the negative words. I found the stars that were already cut out, so I pulled those in, and I used that the thickers, what is it, the miscellanea? No, it was the other one. The heat wave had these kind of gold star type things that kind of look mid-century modern, like starbursts, and I put those just around the layout as well to mimic her. She had stars and things around her layout. And then I put a couple hearts on the photos because I like those photos. And the nope, don't like points to the butterbeer, which I think having that huge block with the Harry Potter part kind of separates, because it's not like I'm saying nope, I don't like the photos of us. But and at some point I will put journaling on the right side under the little next to the butterbeer. But here's where I'm pulling in those little letters that say don't like. I didn't have any small black ones, so these actually kind of lean towards like a dark purple, but I think it's perfect and it stands out a little bit. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but when you look at the layout in person, you can see that it says don't like underneath that word nope. But while I'm finishing up, make sure that you guys check out all the information in the description box. Go give Jessica some loves and likes, subscribes, all the things. The same for all of my crafty peeps that are also scraplifting Jessica today. There's a playlist below, so you can just hit that and enjoy. And thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons below. And then as always, hit the little bell if you would like to be notified when I have new videos. But that's it, guys. I, again, love how this turned out. It just took a little time to get there. And everyone have a great day. Bye.